Welcome guys, welcome to a new video. This is one I really like. I've driven this one before a few years ago. It's the Mini GP3. Quite a cool car. No backseat first. And I drove this car when it launched for about a week, and it's definitely something. So let's first go around and let it warm up a bit. This out of the way. Yeah, so the Mini GP3 is basically the epiphany of the GP line. We've had the GP1 first with the supercharged 4-cylinder. Then we've had the turbocharged 2-liter, which was actually developed by the same guy that did the M3 GTS. And now we're here with the third generation of the GP family, the GP3. And it's about the same recipe as you always get with the GP. You put a crazy engine in the front, and when I say crazy, it's 300 horsepower to the front wheels, pushed through to a mechanical diff. So no electronic diff, a mechanical diff. As you can maybe hear, it's quite noisy. This car isn't standard as well, so it's been lowered. You can see the full cage behind me. It has a different Alcantara steering wheel, Recaro pole positions. They've done a lot to it. Also painted the roof in red, which is a really nice touch because I think overall the car looked a little bit too grey. I know all the GPs, they're the same color, the same grey, but it's very cool to see just a little splash of color in the car. So back to what I was saying about the GP recipe. Take a big engine, and then you strip out the rear seats, which is always a great recipe for cars if you think about it. You can think about all the Megane hot hatches, GT3s as well. Not saying this is a GT3, but you strip out the rear seats and it becomes something special. Yeah, this car stock has 306 horsepower, which is really a handful. The main thing about the GP3, you either hate it or love it. Personally, for me, apart from what's down here, I really love it. And what's here, I mean, is it's an automatic gearbox. In a car like this, I think it should be something a little more special. Have a double clutch or a manual, although if you're thinking about a manual, this car is really a handful once you start pushing on it, which we'll get to in a minute, but it's really a handful, especially now the car has a chip tune, so pushes out quite a lot. So yeah, the GP3, what else does the GP3 have? Something really cool about the looks of the GP3 is the carbon fenders. So on each wheel it has these carbon extensions to increase also the track width of the GP3, and they're composite flares, which are actually, fun fact, they are recycled from parts of the i3 and i8 chassis. So as well, in the interior you have these very nice paddles, and they're 3D printed. So let's see if it's warmed up a bit already. We can maybe start pushing it around a little bit. Looks quite okay. Yeah, apologies if it's a little bit noisy. It seems like the roads are as typical Belgian as you'd want them. No, but what's been done further to the GP3, they've increased the track, increased camber, put on some sticky semi-slick tires, which this one doesn't have anymore, which is also quite nice, to be honest, because it's below freezing temperatures. And as you can maybe hear, it spins the wheel. It spins the wheels up quite a lot, and you really have to fight it, because the nature of the mechanical diff, once the first wheel starts slipping, it locks the other one up quite fast, and it starts dancing around quite a lot. So once you're ready to go, hang on for the ride, because it's going to be wild. It really, yeah, it feels like it's a bulldog. Like go, and then you have to be careful that it doesn't bite your ankle. Jesus. No, it's a super cool car, and yeah, the only thing that I can blame it on is the lack of a proper gearbox, because in response, especially on the downshifts, it's really lackluster. But it's an amazing car. The weight as well is, even though it's a big Mini, it's only 1,250 kilos. Which is something rare these days, but you can really feel, because it can push it very fast and picks up speed very well. And also, as with any GP car, it brakes super well. I know from the GP2 that they basically put on brakes for a car that was designed with 500 extra kilo, which is a real testament to how well it. And the engine is quite nippy as well, because once you're pushing into the higher RPMs, it feels like there's a second breath of air, further pushing the car along. And dear God, hold on for the ride. So yeah, as I said, I've grown real fond of this car from previous driving. The only things that bother me are the gearbox and the lack of maybe convenience. I get it's a track car, and Mini does say it is, and it's as hardcore as they can get it. But having a rear camera shouldn't weigh too much. You can still fit them out aftermarket, which this one has as well. But yeah, just as standard, no parking assist, no parking sensors, no camera, and just for day-to-day, even though, to be honest, it's not that big of a car, so no, well, I'm a real fan of this car, and it is a handful, and maybe some people won't like the fact that it's this bad to drive, but as far as new cars go, sometimes it just, yeah, I find it lackluster that cars they drive too well, and yeah, if you're really pushing onto it, then it really struggles for traction, and maybe good that we're on Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, because currently it's -4 degrees, and I think on the semi-slicks it would have been so bad. But yeah, even though this one has the pole positions, I really enjoy driving with the stock seats, because they're very comfortable, but they hold you in very well. Not equally as well as these, but still they're very comfortable to drive, especially because the GP3 it's quite stiffly sprung. But then again, it's a track car. So, and when we push the traction control light, we push it once and we activate GP mode, which, if you thought it was a handful before, with everything on, it's even worse. See, the gearbox, it's too slow. I think it could benefit from a lighter flywheel, but it's already so crazy. It pushes around so hard and so fast. I think the standard car goes 0 to 100 in 5.2 seconds, which is more than enough for a hot hatchback, but this feels a lot faster. It's maybe lowered a little bit too much, because when you lean on it, it does eat into the wheel arches. No, but what a fun car. Also, it has a carbon air intake, which sounds really nice, and you can hear the turbo flutter really nice as well. But yeah, some people don't like the looks, some people don't like the wing. Personally, even though the wing is useless because it doesn't really generate anything, they had to put on a little rubber strap to actually make it do something. I think it looks really cool. Everyone loved the concept car, which was when it was revealed, and to give credit to Mini, they stayed very true to the concept car, which a lot of manufacturers don't do. They've only built 3,000. Quite fun, because from the GP1 they had 1,000, GP2 they had 2,000, and the GP3 3,000. And the numbers of every car, they're marked on the carbon fenders. I think this one was 679. Very cool to track the car, and they make them all very unique. So these also, they hold their value quite well. I saw a few when they were introduced, but they're getting, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so as I was saying, I saw a few when they were introduced, but they've started going away a little bit. Maybe some people are keeping them, which is a shame because they are so fun to drive, and as a small compact car to use on a daily basis, fantastic. So I hope you enjoy this. If you're a fan of minis and crazy cars, definitely look into this one, because I promise you won't regret it. But that's all the time we have today. I hope you like this one, and let us know if you like minis. Leave a comment and subscribe. Goodbye. Bye.